Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yes,
Morning, ma'am.
can you
Good
see
morning,
the
ma'am.
screen I'm sharing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Okay, I hope all of you have the class syllabus, right? Zoology theory syllabus. Have you all got the zoology theory syllabus? Yes
No,
or no?
ma'am.
No.
No, ma'am.
Are you all in the zoology theory section B group?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I will share there, okay? This one. And those who are not in the group, kindly add yourself, like tell the admin to add you. Okay, I have shared this one syllabus in the group. Okay, you can see later. So this chapter is the fourth chapter in your syllabus, third or fourth, I guess. Breathing and exchange of gases. So did I start a little bit? Did we start a little bit while when you had combined classes? Because there are many sections, that's why I'm confused. Yes, please let me know if I have started anything. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Then say
Yes,
something.
ma'am.
Have I
No,
started anything? No. Okay. Okay, so this is the new chapter, that is breathing and exchange of gases. So do you guys have any idea what is breathing? What does this term breathing means? It's very simple. No need of giving me any definitions. Just give me like whatever you know. Just tell me whatever you know. No need of telling me any definitions. Not bookish definitions, not required.
Inhale and exhale.
Yes, inhaling of oxygen, giving out carbon dioxide, right? Inhale and exhale. So that is breathing. All of you know that is an external process. Okay, external means it happens outside. Outside means just you take in air, you give out air, right? But there is now comes a term known as respiration. I hope all of you have heard of respiration. So what is the difference between breathing and respiration? Can anyone tell me? If you know, you can say. If you don't know, say don't know. Difference between breathing and respiration. Breathing is taking in air and giving out air, right? Taking in oxygen, giving out carbon dioxide. Inhale and exhale. Fine, that is correct. What is respiration now? Hmm?
I don't know.
Oh, okay, so respiration is an internal process. As we have spoken, like that in breathing, it is a external process, right? But respiration is a internal process, and it is a process where chemical and physical processes those are involved. Okay, it happens inside our body. Internal means inside our body it happens. Okay, respiration, it happens inside our body, and it is an internal process. So main differences with breathing and respiration is breathing is external and respiration, it is internal, it happens inside our body. Okay, chemical reactions take place. So when we said inhale and exhale, so when we inhale, we take in oxygen, right? And that oxygen goes inside, and some chemical reaction it occurs inside our body, and then only carbon dioxide is formed, and then carbon dioxide will get out. It's not like selectively we'll take oxygen and give out carbon dioxide. Something has to happen inside our body. Okay, that is known as respiration. That is the internal chemical processes that happens inside our body. That is known as respiration. Is it clear? So this is the difference between like breathing and respiration. Okay. Okay. So now there is a thing known as respiratory fuel. As you can see in this first line, respiration means breaking down of respiratory fuel. So what is this respiratory fuel? Can anyone tell me what is this respiratory fuel? So have you heard of glucose? Have you heard the term glucose?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so that respiratory fuel is nothing but glucose. Okay, so glucose, how do you get glucose? Where do you get glucose from? Where do human beings or like our body gets glucose from? From the food that we eat, right? Carbohydrates. Carbohydrates. So those carbohydrates, glucose is nothing but form of sugar, no, sugar. So the starchy food contains carbohydrates. So when we eat, like suppose you are having lunch, you are taking rice, maybe a roti, maybe some veggies, maybe some non-veg dish. So that will contain what? Carbohydrates. Main components are carbohydrates will be there. Okay, you will get carbohydrates from the vegetables also. You'll get carbohydrates from the rice and roti also, right? And means the grains that rice and roti mostly wheat, so those grains will contain carbohydrates, so we'll get glucose from there, and then we'll get proteins from the uh, non-veg item whatever you're eating, and also from the rice also you'll get some amount of protein, right? And then there will be fats. So those are the three main components of the food, no? Carbohydrate, protein, and fats. So the carbohydrate content of the food that contributes to the glucose in our system, in our body. Okay, that is the sugar part. Okay, so that respiratory fuel is glucose. So what is the respiratory fuel? If I ask, I can say it is the glucose. Okay, so what happens when respiration takes place? See, where we are breathing in and out. Okay, fine, we are doing it from the time we are born. But what is the purpose of that of breathing? Do you think it is on you will say that it is for our survival, but why do we have to breathe in order to survive? Why do we think we need to breathe in order to survive? You will say to keep our heart pumping blood, but why do we need our heart to pump blood? So the main means everything will come together to energy. Okay, we need energy to do everything. Our voluntary actions, whatever we are doing, voluntary means which we are doing by our own free will. We want to do it. We want to walk to some place. We want to sit here. We want to like talk. We want to do whatever. That is voluntary. Okay. So all the voluntary functions which we are doing, that needs energy. Also the involuntary functions, whatever that is going on inside our body, which we are not aware of. Okay, like the functioning of the heart, maybe it's some chemical reactions taking place inside our body, all those needs energy. Fine. So in order to survive, we need energy. To do anything, we need energy. And where do we get that energy from? We think our food. Yes, we get our energy from food, but just eating the food will not be enough. If the internal process doesn't work, just eating the food will not be enough. Okay, we can get the protein, yes, will build our muscles. Protein will help in building muscles, right? Fat it will give some sort of energy, and also like the fat deposits in our body, it will add up to those, right? But the main source of energy is the carbohydrates. We'll get energy from the carbohydrates, right? How? Because when we breathe in, what happens is the oxygen that we take in, like it's not just oxygen, right? It is a mixture of all the gases. And when okay, if you don't understand in between, you can just ask, okay? Because you guys are not so responsible. You don't respond much. So I don't know whether you're listening, whether you're understanding or not. But just when if you don't understand, please ask in between. So what happens whenever we breathe in, we take a mixture of all the gases, all the air in the air, all the gases are present. So we take it in, and the oxygen is accepted, right? And what happens that when the oxygen it combines with the glucose that we get from our food, carbohydrates, right? So when the oxygen combines with the glucose, it breaks down. Glucose it breaks down. Fine, glucose will be broken down and it is a chemical reaction. So it is like glucose plus oxygen. So when glucose will combine with oxygen, so when we breathe in, we get oxygen, right? So when glucose will combine with oxygen, this glucose will break down and it will form carbon dioxide and water, and along with it, energy. Those are the
Energy.
byproducts. Yes, carbon dioxide and water, those are the byproducts. Not so much essential, but they are formed in the reaction. Okay, but the main purpose of the reaction taking place is we need energy. Okay, so what happens when glucose combines with oxygen, that we like oxygen that we get from breathing in and glucose that we get from our food. So when it combines, it breaks down the glucose. Okay, glucose it will break down and it will form energy, and the byproducts of formed are carbon dioxide and water. So the CO2, for those who are from arts background or those who don't know much of science stuff, CO2 is carbon dioxide and H2O means water. Okay, so these two are given out along with energy. So the most important thing that is formed is energy. Fine, so the respiratory, so what happens in respiration? Now, respiration in what happens when we breathe in the oxygen, we get oxygen, right? That is the breathing process, we get oxygen. And then what happens in respiration? The glucose that is present in our body will meet with oxygen and then it will be broken down. Glucose will break down and it will give us energy. That is the, in short, that is respiration. Okay, so this is a definition for respiration. This one. Okay, now types of respiration. So there are two types of respiration, aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. So what is aerobic and anaerobic? What is aerobic and anaerobic?
Ma'am, involving oxygen,
Yes,
cells breakdown,
aerobic is oxygen is involved. Anaerobic means there is no oxygen, no need oxygen. Where
absence of
oxygen is
oxygen.
involved? Yes, absence of. Where oxygen is involved, like in respiration, while we discussed, I specifically mentioned that glucose needs to be, glucose it reacts with oxygen and breaks down. So aerobic respiration, that will happen. Okay, glucose will react with oxygen and break down like the normal procedure that happens. But in anaerobic respiration, that oxygen, it will not react with oxygen because oxygen is absent there. Okay, we will discuss about each one in detail. But before that, can you tell me what do you know eukaryotes and prokaryotes? You must know because you have all no matter which background you're from, science, commerce, arts, but you must know what this eukaryotes and prokaryotes, because you have got that in class 4 or 5. 4 or 5. What are eukaryotes and what are prokaryotes?
Ma'am, eukaryotes and prokaryotes are two types of cells. Eukaryote cells have membrane, nucleus, and prokaryotic cells don't have them.
Okay, just then tell me, like, what are human beings? What type of cell does human being have? Do us, like human beings, have? Okay, the like how much you
Human,
said is correct. How much you said is correct. But humans means us.
Humans have eukaryotic, ma'am.
Yes, humans are eukaryotic. So basically, if you want to say that eukaryotes are multicellular organisms, right? Eukaryotes are generally multicellular. Generally
Yes, ma'am.
multicellular. Yes. Multicellular means more than one cell. All of you know what is a cell. I'm talking about the arts background students. What is a cell? Do you know what is a cell? Cell, tissue, organs. See, in order to
Ma'am,
Mm.
the smallest unit that can live on its own.
Yes, okay. The smallest unit that can live on its own. Okay. That is a cell. Okay, fine. But I was talking like in order to this respiration, this chapter, no, this will have some mechanisms, the way, the how all those what to say, the organs it works, how respiration entire process takes place, the mechanisms. So it is a little bit tough if you don't know what is a cell and you don't know the basics. What is unicellular? What is multicellular? What is means what are organs? If you don't know those stuff, it will be very hard. Okay. For those who know it, it's well and good. But those who are not quite familiar with this, please gather some basics. Okay. Maybe watch videos. Maybe get books or just if you go through your school books and you will get the basics. Okay, what is a cell and stuff like that. So cell is basically the smallest unit, no, of life. Like it is the smallest living thing. So you cannot see a single cell through your naked eyes. You need a microscope, right? You cannot see a single cell with your naked eyes. But there are unicellular organisms also. Means unicellular means there are organisms which have a single cell. Only a single cell is present in those organisms. Okay, for example, bacteria, right? Bacteria is a single cell. Only one cell is present. You cannot see a bacteria through your own eyes. There are lots of bacteria around you, but you cannot see it, right? Because they are so small that you cannot see it, and they are not well developed. Okay, not well developed in their level of organizations. Okay, so what happens? Just consider a cell to be a brick. Okay, cell to be a brick. So many bricks will together form a wall, right? So same way, many cells will together form a tissue. Okay, when cells will come together in the higher level of organisms like us. So many cells together they will form a tissue. Okay, there are different types of tissues, right? There are different types of tissues in our body. So, like for example, connective tissue. Examples, blood, bones, cartilage, all those are connective tissues, right? So many cells will together form tissues and many tissues will together form organs. Example of organs are heart, liver, lungs. Okay, so then many organs will together form organ system. So organ system, respiratory system is an organ system. Okay, now we are discussing about respiratory system. So organ system, respiratory system, digestive system, excretory system, endocrine system. Okay, there are multiple systems, and many all those systems, if you come together, like many organ systems will together form an organism, like us, human beings, organism, or maybe a dog. Okay, so cell is basically the smallest unit of life, and cell is like your nails, your hair. Hairs are dead cells, no doubt. Nails are dead cells, but still they are cells. Okay, but and skin, whatever in your body, every inch of your body is made up of cells. Okay, cell is basically the smallest unit of life. That is, it is the smallest thing that make up our body, but our entire body it is made up of numerous cells. So there are two types of cells. One is eukaryotic, one is prokaryotic. Humans are eukaryotic. Okay, yeah. Main difference is that prokaryotic cells they do not have a cell membrane, nuclear membrane. They do not have a nuclear membrane. Means what is nuclear membrane? In the nucleus there is a covering of the nucleus. Okay, membrane covering the nucleus. So in prokaryotic cells they do not have that membrane. But in eukaryotic cells, the nucleus have a nuclear membrane, not cell membrane, nuclear membrane is there. Okay, that is the main difference. Second is that most of the unicellular organisms are prokaryotes. Okay, most of the unicellular organisms, single cell organisms, and the multicellular organisms, they are eukaryotes, like us. Okay, multicellular means many cells, unicellular means single cells, uni means single, multi means many. Okay, same way aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration it generally takes place in the case of multicellular organisms, eukaryotes. Okay, aerobic, presence of oxygen means in us. There are exceptions, we will discuss about that later. And anaerobic respiration, it takes place in the case of unicellular organisms. Okay, that is prokaryotes. That is the most important means difference. Okay, and here aerobic respiration it takes place in the presence of oxygen, and anaerobic respiration it takes place in the absence of oxygen. No oxygen is required, but for aerobic respiration to take place, oxygen is a must. Oxygen is required. Okay, we will discuss a little bit about aerobic respiration.
Can I ask you one question?
Yes, sure.
जब कोई ह्यूमन डेथ करता है तो हमारे डेथ के बाद भी हमारा सेल्स वो जिंदा रहते हैं क्या?
Yes, for few like maybe the heart will survive. No, not the heart. The cells of the heart they will survive for maybe a little bit longer. Means it does not. मतलब differ करता है, ठीक है? It's not like the eyes may be the cells of the eyes may survive for little bit longer than your other skin parts, and likewise, okay, it's not like तुम्हारा entire body का cells एक साथ ही मतलब dead नहीं हो जाएगा, ठीक है? It differs from part to part. Maybe some part of your body it will like be dead soon, and some part will be like it will take some time, like that. Okay, so that is why even after the death, no, the eyes when they donate the eyes, so little bit for few maybe I think it takes like hours maybe so that you can like donate the eyes. No, it takes hours, but after let those few hours are passed, it will not work like that. So it differs, and yes, it's not like the minute you are dead, all your cells are dead. It's not like that. Okay, it will take some time. It's not like you're dead and everything is dead. It's not like that.
तो डेथ के बाद भी हमारा नेल्स भी बढ़ते रहते हैं.
Nails is like nails are dead cells. Okay, the reason you don't feel pain while cutting the nails is that they are dead cells, and your hairs. बाल और नाखून जो है ना वो लाइफ सेल्स नहीं है, हाँ डेड सेल्स है, लाइफ सेल्स नहीं है. What see there as I have mentioned there are numerous cells in our body, right? Numerous cells है body में, so they keep on recycling. I'm not sure about the time, but it is there is a time like they say that after a few years I think you are a completely new person when it comes to the cells. You don't have the cells that are present when you are a child. Those means cells they multiply continuously and they die continuously. Okay, some cells will die and some will multiply. That process goes on. That is why you grow, no, in size. Yes, some cells will die off and some will grow continuously. So, the dead cells, where do they go? Dead cells, where will they go? The nails and the hairs. That's why you don't feel pain, no, while cutting them. Otherwise, if they are live cells, just imagine cutting your nails. It will feel like chopping off your finger. No? So, like that. They have no sensation because there are no nerve endings, because they are not live cells. They are dead cells. And that's why you can't talk about the nails and hairs. Those are not live cells.
Okay.
Okay, now aerobic respiration. First thing I have mentioned that is it involves oxygen, right? It involves oxygen. Second thing is that it occurs in the case of multicellular organisms, that is eukaryotic organisms, multicellular. 2 points. Okay. Before that, this question is very important, and you may expect it for your exams. Okay, that is differences between aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. That is point wise. Differences between aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. I'll give an assignment later, but about this, then you can write your answers and show, then I can check it. Okay, not now, after I complete explaining this portion. But as I have mentioned, I don't know whether most of you are not present then, I guess, but I will be giving notes. Okay, I will be giving notes, but whatever I teach in the class, please make a habit of getting a copy, notebook and pen and writing it down, the important stuff. Okay, because few things might not be included in the notes that I give. Notes are only for long questions. Okay, the notes are only for long questions and maybe 2-3 marks questions, definitions. But multiple choice questions, fill in the blanks. So if those questions come, multiple choice questions will come. I don't know about fill in the blanks, but multiple choice questions, if they come, they are most probably they will come from whatever I teach in the class. Okay, not from the notes. If there are 10 multiple choice questions, there will be like 6 questions from whatever I taught in the class, not included in the notes. Okay, so please make the habit of taking a copy and noting things down, whatever that is important. If I repeat the things like multiple times, that is important. Okay, now like for example, here I have mentioned respiratory field, it is the glucose. This thing will not be included in the notes. Okay, and aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration differences, so I will not give notes. So means the important things, whatever I teach, you can figure out what are the important ones. No, please make the habit of like making pointers and writing those down, because it will be easy for you later on while in the exam. Because many of you, like many of the students, they come to me telling this question is no, you have not taught that, or you have like this is out of the syllabus or something like that. It is not included in our syllabus, but it is. But the thing is that person has not attended the class or have not paid attention or something like that. But just expect multiple choice questions to be from whatever I teach in the class. Okay, so pay attention and make the habit of writing it down. If you want to score marks in multiple choice, if you don't want those marks, then it is well and good. No need. Okay, I think you have class now, no? Next class, it's 10. Okay, we'll continue this portion next class. No, and the
Okay,
thing is
ma'am.
that we reach our university very late. No, and I have always classes at 9, but then we reach the university late. The university buses they come late. So I will take the class. You have class from 9 to 9:45. I'll take the class up to 10, and I'll start a little bit late. Okay, so don't worry about that. And if anyone is not added in the section B group, please make sure you add yourself. Tell your friends who are in the group and ask around.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, I'll give all the notes and everything there only. Okay, yes, okay then.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
You are